What's going on, everyone? I'm the Casual Reviewer. I'm the fine line between critic and casual viewer. And yes, I am wearing something different. I'm not wearing the hat from the intro, and that's just simply because I decided to re-record it today. I thought about the movie a bit more, so I decided to make a new one. And I'm recording here what you would call maybe a roadside review, because in my condo, my baby cousin is sleeping in there and he's sick, and I don't want to talk loudly and wake him up potentially. So I'm doing it in here. So I hope that's not an issue for you. I'm doing it today while I come home from work. I saw Glass. In case you don't know what this is the latest installment of an M. Night Shyamalan superhero or comic book movie trilogy almost, even though they're not inspired by any sort of comics. And this movie in particular, this movie is about a doctor that brings in these three characters from both Unbreakable and Split into her institution, and she's basically throughout this movie trying to convince these three that they're actually not superhuman, but they're just people that are talented, essentially just regular people that have that are a little more talented than the average person in certain areas. By the way, I kind of like this. I kind of dig this little shadow on my face. It makes it a little eerie, but in the movie, David wearing the cape, he kind of looks like he kind of has this shadow over his face, so I think this fits suit. Getting into it, I'm going to start with the negatives I feel like for this movie, and then I'm going to roll into the positives, just because I think there's a lot less negatives in this film than there are positives, and then I can end on, a positive note. The first negative I have is just the length of this movie. I feel like the last 20 minutes could have been cut out, or at least 20 minutes somewhere between like the third act and the fourth act. I mean, I know there's 3 acts, but like if you cut this in the quarters, I thought 75% of it, the first 75% was great. Then 15% could have been cut out near the end, and then the last 10 they could have put in. The last 10 I didn't think was perfect, but I thought it was okay. They could have went somewhere else with it, but if they would have cut out that 15% there, then at least it would have made it a more smooth transition from start to finish, I feel like, all the way through. For my next negative, just so you know, I'm not going to give away any spoilers. I will give spoilers away from Unbreakable and Split, potentially. So if you haven't seen those yet, please go see those first, and then come back, or however you want to do it. If you want to come back and watch this after Glass, even, go ahead. There's a part in this movie where the doctor installs something in this institution, which she claims to be a specialist in this field of people believing that they are superheroes, but actually just normal people. And so I'm assuming she's had people in the past, like multiple people in the past, brought to this institution, and she just now decides that she wants to install all of this, which then in end helps one of the characters out. And like, you knew it was gonna help him out. You're just kind of sitting there like, why would you just randomly do this now? Like, if anything, he's the worst person to then be the first one to do this, like to start this up in your institution and then let him know about it. It's just it's super weird to me. It doesn't really make sense. It's more of just like a plot device for me. Essentially, if you don't know what a plot device is, it's something that they just shoehorn in the script in order to get from point A to point B, but has no real purpose, and it's kind of just like they just throw it in there because they feel there's no other way, or they can't think of another way to get from point A to point B. Or in this case, this is kind of like from point A to point Z, because it comes full circle at the end, like what these are used for. Last thing that I'll say for the negatives was, I don't really know what the purpose of Anya Taylor-Joy was in this. Like, I understand what they were trying to do, but it's so unbelievable. And I know I say it's a superhero film, but I don't want you to get the wrong idea. It's not like a Marvel film. It is a very real film. It feels like it could have happened in New York, right? Like, they're not superheroes. Like, they just have extra strength, or there's one super smart. Like, pretty much those are the only two, like, because 2 of them are super strong and then 1 of them is super smart. I don't really know, because if you don't know, so this is where I'm going to do a spoiler for Split. Anya Taylor-Joy's character, her name is Casey in the movie. She is one of 3 young girls that is kidnapped and is supposed to be their destiny is to be sacrificed to the Beast, which is James McAvoy's character. So essentially, she was supposed to be eaten, but at the end of the film, she doesn't, because you find out that the Beast only eats those who are pure, who haven't gone through struggle like he has. And so Casey, he finds out, has been through struggle. So he knows she's impure, so he doesn't eat her. But he eats the other two, or at least one of them, like in front of her. And then even in this movie, like, he eats another person right in front of her. Right in front of her. And I'm just like, and she's like connecting with him on an emotional like level, or like because they've been in struggle, she feels this connection. But I just don't see how you connect to someone like that no matter what. Like, she saw him eat this guy's face, and then she was just like, wow, you eat people? I eat food? There's something there. I just don't really understand. I don't know. I that part I don't get. I don't really understand. She's going to help the doctor. I get that. I understand that there's a way with her that she kind of like the beast connects to a little more to, but to me it feels like she's way too connected to him, and he's just this terrible person. So I don't know. Let's go on to positives, and let me start with this. James McAvoy is fucking crazy amazing. Like, I'm sorry, I swore right there. I try not to swear in any of my reviews, but he's incredible. I'm sorry, but there were not 5 people that were better than him in 2017 for his role in Split. He should have been nominated then, and I know for damn sure there are not going to be another 5 people better than him in any movies than he is in this one. In Split, he had one of the best scenes where he was Dennis pretending to be Barry, which are 2 of his different personalities. So he's 3 people basically in one body in one scene, which is crazy, and he's just insane in that movie. And then in this one though, he embodies like 20 different characters, and each one has different demeanor. They have different posture, just body language, the accent, how they talk, like the way that they actually speak is different. It's just so insane to me, and he does these on a split second. Now I mean, I can assume that maybe they cut and, he starts from certain points. But some of these, that he's not just like, they're not cutting. He's just going from this guy to this guy to this guy to this, like 4 different characters that you would see established in like 4 different movies. But he's doing it all in seconds. And it's unbelievable to me. It's just crazy. All the acting was great. I thought all the acting was good for the most part. Some of it was all right. But for the most part, like, Bruce Willis actually came to play today. Or not today, to the movie. Samuel L. Jackson did great. He was phenomenal in it as well. But yeah, so the acting was great. I loved the cinematography. I loved how it was shot. The directing was great. M. Night Shyamalan, I know people are saying he's having a resurgence. He's coming back. Like, he's back. How many movies do you need? Like, he had The Visit, which I think is, even though people say it's good, I think it's a little underrated. I think it's a great movie. I think that was like his resurgence. Then he came out with Split. I believe that was the next one. Split is great. So at this point, I think he's back. He only had maybe like a couple bad movies before that. And then before that, he had good ones. So, I mean, with this one, which I think is good, I definitely think he's back. I think you could solidify that he is back. And his directing is just so good. The color schemes are great in this movie. He shoots it like it's a comic book, but it's not like fake looking. Just the way the shots are, you would like pull them out of the boxes in comic books. Like, it's really well shot. I just thought for the most part the movie was good. I loved the feel of it being like more of a real type movie and not like a superhero, not like a Marvel or DC type movie, but like a real one. The choreo, it didn't even look like choreo. It just felt so raw, because it's not like they're flying at each other and right punch this, like they're actually trying to like kill each other, like that, like how you would see in real life, but they're people with like superhuman strength. So it's really cool to see. Man, I liked it a lot. I did. Again, I had my negatives, but I liked it. And because of the negatives that I had, but then because of how good James McAvoy everything is, my final grade for this movie is going to be a 7 out of 10. And yeah, so hey guys, I mean, I definitely recommend this movie to go see it. I recommend you see Unbreakable and Split first if you have not. Please go see those. Split is amazing. Unbreakable wasn't exactly for me, but you definitely need it to get to this point, I feel like, to really get that emotional connection. But Again, with that being said, I hope you guys have a great day, and I hope you enjoy this review. If you did, leave a like. 10 likes for this video, I'll post a spoiler review. Just 10 likes by the end of the weekend, I'll post a spoiler review. All right? And with that being said, have a great one.